Join me, Pastor Linton Gentles, as I take on the challenge of embracing hardship as a fruit of the Spirit in today's world. Can I really grow through tough times? In today's world, it's easy to get caught up in the idea that we should be exempt from hardship, that we should be able to avoid it at all costs. But the reality is, hardship is a part of life, and it's how we respond to it that matters. As Christians, we're called to endure hardship as a fruit of the Spirit. But what does that really mean? And how can we apply it to our lives in a practical way, especially in today's world? We've all faced challenges in life that have left us feeling overwhelmed, like the weight of the world is crushing us. We've experienced loss, heartbreak, disappointment, and pain. We've faced uncertainties that have left us feeling lost and alone. We've had to navigate situations that have pushed us to our limits, making us wonder if we'll ever make it through. It's in these moments that we're tempted to give up, to throw in the towel and say, "I just can't do this anymore." But what if I told you that it's in these moments that we have the greatest opportunity for growth? These challenges can lead to feelings of despair or hopelessness, making us wonder if God has abandoned us or if He's even still speaking to us. We start to question His plan for our lives, wondering why He's allowing us to go through such difficult times. We start to doubt our own abilities, feeling like we're not strong enough to overcome the obstacles in our path. But what if I told you that it's in these moments of doubt and uncertainty that we can discover a deeper sense of purpose and direction? We've all had those moments where we felt like we're stuck between a rock and a hard place, unsure of which way to turn or what decision to make. We've all faced situations that have left us feeling paralyzed, unable to move forward. But what if I told you that it's in these moments that we can discover a greater sense of trust in God? A trust that says, "I may not know what's going on, but I know that God is in control and He's working everything out for my good?" The Bible is full of stories of people who have endured incredible hardship, only to come out stronger on the other side. From Job to Joseph, from David to Paul, we see examples of men and women who have faced unimaginable challenges, only to emerge with a deeper sense of faith and purpose. They didn't let their circumstances define them. Instead, they chose to let their faith define their circumstances. In Romans chapter 5, verses 3-5, Paul writes, "Not only that, but we rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope. And hope does not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who has been given to us." This is the biblical perspective on hardship and resilience. It's not about avoiding challenges, but about embracing them as opportunities for growth and transformation. In 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 9-10, Paul says, "But he said to me, 'My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly of my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me. For the sake of Christ, then, I am content with weaknesses, insults, hardships, persecutions, and calamities. For when I am weak, then I am strong.'" This is the heart of the biblical perspective on hardship. It's not about our own strength, but about God's strength in us. I remember a time in my life when I felt like I was at rock bottom. I had just lost my job, my relationship was falling apart, and I was struggling to make ends meet. I felt like I had no purpose, no direction, and no hope. But in that moment, I realized that I had a choice to make. I could either let my circumstances define me, or I could let my faith define them. I chose the latter, and it was in that moment that I began to experience a sense of peace and hope that I had never experienced before. As I began to seek God's presence in my life, I started to see things from a different perspective. I started to see that my struggles were not a sign of God's absence, but a sign of His presence. I started to see that my challenges were not obstacles to overcome, but opportunities for growth and transformation. And I started to see that my weaknesses were not something to be ashamed of, but something to be celebrated, because they were opportunities for God's power to be displayed in my life. In that moment, I realized that enduring hardship is not about being strong, it's about being weak. It's about acknowledging our limitations and our vulnerabilities, and it's about surrendering them to God. It's about saying, I don't have the strength to do this on my own, but I know that God does. And it's in that moment that we can experience a sense of freedom and peace that we've never experienced before. So let's recap. Enduring hardship is not about avoiding challenges, but about embracing them as opportunities for growth and transformation. It's about recognizing our weaknesses and vulnerabilities, and it's about surrendering them to God. It's about choosing to let our faith define our circumstances, rather than letting our circumstances define us. So I want to leave you with a challenge today. What's the hardship that you're facing right now, and how can you endure it as a fruit of the Spirit? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and be sure to check out my other videos on related topics. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.